Now let's look at the slightly more difficult two-stage equations. To understand those, we have to understand the concept of a term. And the terms of an equation are those parts which are separated by plus, minus and equal signs. And I'll describe these in more detail when we get on to examples. So our initial aim is to get the x term on its own. And with one-stage equations, the idea is to get the x on its own, but this time it's the x term, so that will be everything that contains the x. Then we do this, and we get that on its own in the same way they do with one-stage equations, by saying what is it that we do into the x term, and then we do the opposite to cancel that out. When we've got the x term on its own, we'll find ourselves with a one-stage equation which we already know how to solve. Okay, let's look at a couple of examples. So here, this is our x term, this is a constant term because it's just a number, and this is another constant term. So we say, what is it that we're doing to the x term? Well, we're adding 7. We want to do the opposite and subtract 7. That will just leave us with the x term on the left hand side, and subtracting 7 from 13 is going to give us 6. So now we've got our one-stage problem. What is it that we've done to the x? Well, we've multiplied by 3. We need to do the opposite and divide by 3. That will give us x on the left hand side, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. We can test our answer in the same way that we've done it previously. 3 multiplied by 2 is 6, add 7 does equal 13. One more example. So this is our x term. What is it that we're doing to our x term? We're subtracting 3. We need to do the opposite, so we're going to add 3. That will cancel out the subtracting 3 to just leave with an x over 7 on the left, and adding 3 to the 1 is going to give us 4 on the right. So now we've got our one-stage problem. What is it we're doing to the x? We're dividing by 7. How do we cancel out dividing by 7? Well, we do the opposite. So we multiply by 7. Multiplying the left-hand side by 7 cancels out the dividing by 7, which leaves the x on its own, and multiplying 4 by 7 is 28. We can test that answer. 28 divided by 7 is 4. 4 take away 3 is 1. I hope you found the video helpful. The video goes with a book that I'm writing for Year 9 Mathematics in New Zealand, and you can find a link to a copy of the book below, and that book is free for you to use and give to others. In the book you can find questions that go with this video, and in a link below this video you'll be able to find answers to those questions. Stay in Infield with Winfield.